Um, I heard something this morning and I had to simply come online and have a chat. It's something that I have been doing without even realizing. Now, by doing this, you will have more energy without changing anything else. You don't have to change how you eat, what you eat, how you move your body, what time you wake up, how much sleep you get, anything about your children, where they're at your season of life. This is something that we all do every day, multiple times, and it's something that can make such a huge difference. So, I'm going to talk today about the power of making a decision. We make thousands of decisions every single day, from what we're going to wear, to what we're going to eat, to how we're going to act or react in certain situations. There are so many decisions we need to make. And as a mum, obviously, to a child who has additional needs, there are so many decisions to make about different therapy tools, types of therapy, the therapists we use, all those types of things as well. So that's extra decisions on top of what would be expected in the norm. We make so many decisions, you probably don't even realize about it. So someone might have asked you this morning, hey, would you like to come to, I don't know, the play centre on the weekend, or did you want to come out for dinner on Saturday night? And you probably didn't even think about it, but that's a decision, right? So anytime somebody asks you something or something needs to happen, there is usually a decision-making process that goes into that. Reflect on that for a moment. Do you tend to make quick, snap decisions? Do you like to sit back and think about them? Do you say, in that instance, would you like to come out for dinner on Saturday night? In the moment, do you say, oh, yeah, that would be lovely? And then down the track, you go, oh, I wish I hadn't said that. I don't really want to go. I've got so much on. I actually just want to relax and chill out and have some time for me. Or we already have a busy weekend on. I can't do something else. Or maybe you say, oh, let me check my calendar and I'll get back to you, which in essence is absolutely fine. But then you've got to go back. So you've put it off for the time being, but you're then thinking, and that decision is still whirring around in your mind because you need to then get back to that person to let them know. But if you actually check in with yourself in all honesty, you probably know whether the answer is yes or no. Maybe you hate making decisions because every time you make one, you feel like, oh, now I've made the wrong decision. And some decisions can be really big. And other decisions are, I say, insignificant. I mean, what you have for dinner, yes, it's going to make a difference in the long run, but it's not something to stress about. But it is something that we need to decide pretty much every day. The same with what clothes you're going to put on that morning. It's pretty much something you need to decide every day. So I like to, one, advise my clients to take as many decisions out of the equation as possible because we suffer something called decision fatigue. That's when the power of having to make so many decisions just disappears because there's too many. It feels overwhelming. So we just bury our head in the sand and pretend like it's not happening, right? Anyone ever been there? Because I definitely have. It's really important to save your decision-making ability, and we only have so much for the most important tasks. So I like to eliminate and automate most of the day-to-day things. So things like what you're going to wear, what you're going to have for dinner, you can pre-organize those types of things, take the stress out of it. I have like a weekly meal rotation system, more or less, that pretty much makes it simple for me to decide what to have for dinner. But something that I do that I didn't realize wasn't that common was I tend to make a fairly quick decision and I stick with it. And that's because I do something just as part of who I am without realizing. And I run most decisions past my inner values, goals, what do you call it? Like line. So I work out in that moment, is this aligned with my values? Is this aligned with my goals? So say, for example, you had a goal to lose weight and your primary value is the thing that's most important to you is your family, right? And you're invited out to a girls' night out at McDonald's, right? Terrible example, but let's run with it. Okay. Does that run through your values filter? Is it with your family, no, you have to find someone to look after your children, or it's not, your family's not invited. But maybe part of your values are socializing with your friends. Great, then that could make a difference. But what about your values? If your value is, or sorry, your goal at the moment is to lose weight, is going to McDonald's going to help you move closer to or further away from that goal? I would argue it's not going to help you in that goal. So in that instant, I would be inclined to say, no, thank you. I don't wish to come, right? Because it's not aligned with what I want. It's not spending time with my family and my values, and it's not aligned with my goals of losing weight. But I may also say, I would love to come out because I've been needing some time out with my friends. But can I suggest an alternate location? How about we go to the salad box, for example? So you know you can get something that is in line with your goals to help you with your weight loss journey, right? Terrible example, but you see what I mean. If you know and you have your main goals, your life goals, whatever goals they are in mind, and you have your main values established and you know what's most important to you, decisions become much easier, right? Because you run it through your values filter, you run it through your goals filter. Does it tick the boxes, yay or nay? And that's when you then come up with your answer. Now, obviously, it's not always easy to say no because maybe you feel guilty, you feel a certain level of expectation. But what if I tell you that by making a decision that does not align with your values, by procrastinating on that decision and stressing over every decision, you are actually using up valuable energy. And it's probably energy that you don't have. We all have the same amount of energy, the same amount of hours in the day. If you're using a lot of your energy on this decision making process because you're going backwards and forwards, writing lists of pros and cons for everything, delaying some decisions and then feeling bad about them or regretting the decision that you've made, it uses up so much energy and brain power for things that you could be spending elsewhere. I would rather have my energy for playing with my kids, for lifting my boy, for doing things that matter to me. I don't want to waste my energy on making a decision. So this is about really defining what are your goals, what are your core values, and really understanding them intrinsically so you know in any instant what decision is going to be the right one for you. Because if you run it through that filter, it's going to take less energy, less stress, and you're going to feel so much calmer. So the other part to this is, as I shared at the beginning, try to take away the mundane decisions. We make so many decisions a day that you probably don't even think about. So something I like to do, for example, is the night before, I get out what clothes I'm going to wear to the gym. I've already booked into my gym session, and I often get out the clothes I'm going to wear for the day because then I don't need to think about those in the morning. Because in the morning, I'm likely to be more alert, have more brain power. I want to use that on the things that really matter. Honestly, does my clothes really matter? Do I need to be stressing in the morning about which gym clothes I'm going to get out, which class I'm going to? Have I booked it in? What am I going to wear for that day? Like, do I need to decide all of that? I like to have a bit of a plan worked out for a few days ahead. I can't work a week in advance, it's too much, but I work a few days in ahead and think about what am I going to have for dinner, because then it's out of my mind. I don't have to think about those things. Some people love to do a meal plan and you write that out every week. That's a great way to work. So you don't have to have that decision of what I'm going to have for dinner. I'd rather spend my core decision making, and there is only so much we can do in one day, on the things that really matter. I'm off tomorrow to look at wheelchairs for my son. I want to have my decision making ability based on the important things that he is going to need and that will make our lives easier going forward. I don't want to waste my decision making and my energy on worrying about what I'm having for dinner and what I'm going to wear, like, and whether I've upset Margaret by not accepting her invitation to go somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, I've run them through my filter. What's most important to me? If you need help with working out your core values and working out what your goals are and then breaking that down, that's what I can help with. If you are interested in more, I will leave my details below. Get in touch and just write values or goals, and I can send you some more detail about how to establish your goals and how to establish your values so that you're able to run them through your filter, and it makes you have so much more energy for all the things that matter, and your core decision making powers and ability is really reserved for the things that make the biggest difference, because there will be things in life that come up that you need to decide, and it can be a tough one. So hopefully that's been helpful. Let me know what you enjoyed most. Let me know if you need me to expand on any areas, and I hope that that's been useful. I will see you online again very soon.